Okay, so we're going to continue the topic. Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tatvata tyaktva deha punarjanma neti mang eti so Arjuna. So if Krishna wants to kill you, who can save you? If Krishna wants to save you, who can kill you? We're continuing on this topic, right? So yesterday we heard the story of, you remember the story? The story of Ram who killed Bali and his son Angad who asked for that gift that Krishna gave back. But in the end, we were running short of time, so we told the story of, you remember the story we told at the end?
Krishna, how Krishna was pierced.
We told that story, but then after that story, the magician. We told that story, but then after that story, the last story we told.
Magician family.
The magician family, right? So they came to the kingdom, and they had a royal assembly, and then they did the performance there, right? And they did the first performance, and they were so happy the queen gave them the gift. You remember the story, right? And then afterwards they fought, and it appeared like they killed each other, and they were like dead there on the stage. And then they left in great disgust. And then a few weeks later they sent a letter through the messenger to the king. It said, oh, you gave us the prize for the first act, but not for the second act. So please invite us and we'll do that again. We want our prize. So the king was very astonished, and he called them and they gave them the prize. So what do we learn from this story? That Gurudev would tell this story in relation to this fact of how Krishna is performing like in a mysterious manner his pastimes like this. Because ultimately, like the question is there, that if we want to kill God, is it possible? Ultimately, it's not possible. How can you kill God? Krishna is eternally Krishna. That's the point about Krishna, that we say, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. That Krishna, he is the supreme Ishvar, the supreme controller, and he is Anadi Adi. He is the original source of all creation. He is beginningless. He is the root of all creation. He is the cause of all causes. Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes. He is the original beginning of everything. So therefore, how is it possible that we can kill him? It's not possible. But in order to perform his pastimes like this, then it may appear like he is accepting this. And this is also there so that it cheats the people. You are mesmerized, huh? This is also a way to cheat the demons. That Krishna performs this pastime of apparently being, like shot and apparently being killed, just to cheat the demons so that they will not have faith in the Lord. But this is just trickery, like the magicians. They appeared to die, but really they didn't die. Krishna, afterwards, he's appearing, he's continuing his pastimes, he's in his transcendental world. And even it is said that Krishna didn't leave his body like an ordinary person leaves their body. Krishna in the Bhagavatam is also described that with his own associates, with his own transcendental body, and all of his paraphernalia, he entered like through the skyways to the transcendental abode. He didn't leave his body like we live. But to cheat the cheaters, in other words, to trick them through that's why he's called Yogeshwara. Yogeshwara means he is the master of all magicians. So therefore Krishna is such that he can, we've lost a few. Mahaprasade Govinde Namabrahmani.
No, I'm okay.
So in order to trick them, then Krishna performed this pastime as if he was being killed. But in reality, how can you kill Krishna? So then there's other pastimes, and the question may come, if anyone says, oh, I want the boon to kill Krishna, is it possible to kill Krishna? So we can analyze, are there any other stories we can think of where someone wants to kill Krishna? So there's the story of many demons want to kill Krishna. Kamsa wanted to kill Krishna, and how many times he tried. But the interesting thing with Kamsa is that when he was originally not thinking to kill Krishna. At that time Krishna hadn't appeared. He may have thought of Vishnu. He was antagonistic towards Vishnu. But he didn't say, I want to kill Krishna directly. And when he was taking his sister Devaki on her wedding, and he heard the sound from the sky, that it was like the voice of the heavens saying that, oh, this 8th child of Devaki will kill you. That time he thought, I will kill Devaki. And he grabbed her hair and pulled out the sword, and he was about to kill her. And Vasudeva intervened and convinced him, don't kill Devaki, that this will be a great sin. When the children are born, I will give them all to you, and you can do as you like. So he wasn't originally thinking, I want to kill Krishna. Then when Krishna was born, then he started trying to kill Krishna, and he was sending so many different demons. But did Krishna allow it? That's why it said that also. There's one other important phrase, not a full verse, that we should learn. It's agatana gatana patyashi shakti. Okay, agatana means what seems impossible, and gatana means to make possible. Patyasi is to make it happen. Agatana gatana, impossible to possible. Patyasi, the ability, shakti, that potency. So that's one of the natures of Krishna. That's why it's possible that he can appear to die even though he is not dying. Krishna is eternal, he's immortal, but sometimes it may appear. This is the supramundane pastimes and activities of Krishna. That even though that's why we see like fools, they're criticizing Krishna and his activities when they cannot really comprehend the nature. Like many people will criticize Krishna's pastimes with the gopis, why he was dancing with other men's wives, or they'll criticize Krishna's pastimes with Katyani Vrat, why is he stealing the clothes of the gopis? That's also they criticize. But Krishna is the master of mystics, so they cannot understand his activities unless, that's why we learn this verse, Janma Karma Chame Divyam. If you realize that Krishna's birth, his activities are all divine and transcendental, and understand that truth in fact, then knowing that when you give up your material body, you will also become immortal. That is Krishna's Agatana Katana Patyasi Shakti. So we'll learn that one. That's actually a good one to write down later, because it's a short, simple one. That what is the nature of Krishna? Gatana Gatana Patyashi Shakti. He has the power to make what seems impossible possible. There's a story in relation to this, that because he's God, everything should be possible for God. So they give a philosophical, like a question. Gurudev also asked this many times. He said, if God can do anything, then can he create something that he can't do? If God can do anything, can he create a mountain so large he cannot lift it? Yes, he can. But then he lifts it anyway. That's the nature of God. Agatana gatana patyashi shakti. This is his achinta veda veda tattva. Like, what is possible in the realm of matter, it's limited. We are limited by matter here. But if you are the transcendental agent, then you can do according to your wish. Krishna's nature is that he is Svatantra Ishwar, and according to his desires, his Shakti, his energy will manifest the reality for him. This is Yoga Maya Shakti. So Kamsa wanted to, alright, so then we go to the story of Kamsa. Kamsa wanted to kill Krishna. Who else wanted to kill? So then Kamsa, then it also says, there's another verse that we can learn. You can write this Bhagavad Gita verse. Ye yatamang prapadyante tang sataiva bhajamyaham mama vart manu vartate manusya partha sarvasa. That everyone is following my path, and I reward them accordingly. But then he also says that those who are worshipping the devas, the ghosts, the spirits, they aren't approaching me directly. They're doing it against the proper rules and regulations of the scriptures. Therefore, they also don't get the real benefit, the real result. But ultimately, everyone is doing is towards Sri Krishna. Everyone is going towards, like they're following the path towards Sri Krishna, whatever path. It is said, Krishna says himself that whatever process of worship you're doing, ultimately Krishna is Bhoktaram Jagyatapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. That any type of sacrifice or worship you may perform, the only enjoyer of that is Krishna, and the only one who can provide the fruits of your worship is Krishna. Without Krishna, the demigods, they're all his opulences. Or the demons also, they're all coming from the energy of Krishna. Without Krishna's energy, they can't do anything. But then Krishna says, Yajanti avidi purvakam. They're not properly following the right path, therefore they will not get the right result. So it is said that even when the demons want to kill Krishna, and they end up, like this case, in one case, he apparently let them have their wish, with the story of Bali and Angad. But really, with most of the demons, we don't see that, I want to kill Krishna, then it's possible. Krishna doesn't fulfill their desires like that. With Angad, it was a special case, because he was giving everyone the gifts after they had helped him. So he said, okay, as you desire, I will fulfill. But Kamsa wanted to kill, and then who else wanted to kill? So some people, they want to kill Krishna, but that's not their real motive, their main motive. Like some people may just want to kill Krishna, but then there may be enmity or anger or jealousy towards Krishna. And it may manifest in different ways. And then your real desire isn't just to kill Krishna. It's to enjoy like Krishna, to have a position like Krishna, to take his position. So then there's another story that when Kamsa wanted to kill Krishna, who was one of the first demons he sent to kill Krishna? Putana, right? So what happened with Putana? That Putana was given this task by Kamsa to kill Krishna. So Putana is interesting. Putana is like actually not so much a name as like an adjective or a designator. So Putani actually means someone who kills infants and drinks their blood. Like many elites. To maintain their bodies, to get fresh youth, they like to kill and drink infants' blood. This is what they say. Who knows? So, but Putana, this is actually in Indian history, that there are a group of like witches basically. And it's said in the sastras, there's different sastras that says that the Putana designation is not just in Krishna Lila. Even in Ravan's time, it said that Ravan had 16 sisters. And they all had these names like Putani. Means what was their favorite kind of food or their favorite drink was this infant's blood. They would kill the infants and drink the blood. And also Kamsa was such a demon that he would do like this as well. Kamsa was actually very surprised. It said that Kamsa before, when he thought at first he was the son of Ugrasena, who was in the Yadu dynasty. But then later he found out, it's actually an interesting story, actually like Hamlet also. What happened, Kamsa was one time at night sleeping, and a ghost came to him. And he said, oh, how are you living here so happily when I was murdered? And you're not avenging me. That this Ugrasena is not your real father. I'm your real father, but I was killed. So this demon was called the Dumil Daitya. And he used to live in the area of Barshana actually. That's why in Barshana there's a place called Dumilvan. And it said, I'll tell you the whole story in sequence. So anyhow, the demons, they like to enjoy any beautiful lady, especially like a princess or a queen. So he took on the form of Ugrasen when his wife was in the garden playing with her friends. And he enjoyed her, like molested, raped her. And then she had a son, but she hid it from everyone. And Ugrasen thought it was his son. And so this Dumil Daitya, later on, after that, he went to Varshana. He was living in that Braj area. Purdy said that in that Braj area, there were many demons living. Lohasur and Lohavan, Keshi. All these different demons were staying around Braj and controlling it, in Talavan, Denukasur. So anyhow, what happened is that when Radharani and the Sakis were one time going through that area, then he was trying to disturb the Sakis also, thinking like I disturbed these girls in Mathura, I can disturb the gopis in Vrindavan. But is it possible? He thought, like I disturbed the girls in Mathura, I can disturb the gopis. But as soon as he tried disturbing the gopis, Radharani said she took her bengal and she threw it and it became more powerful than the Sudarshan Chakra and it cut off his head and he was finished. So that's how he died. So then it's interesting, like Krishna kills Kamsa, but Radharani kills Kamsa's father. And generally we don't hear about like Radharani killing demons, but this is one story we hear from the Vaishnavas. So anyhow, after that, sometime later, then he was thinking, now how can I make Kamsa against the Brijabasis? He wants revenge, right? Also he wants revenge against all the Yadavas. So he came and he appeared and he said, you are my son, but you are acting like the prince of, you're helping the Yadavas who are actually, against me. Because Krishna, he thought also Krishna is related to the Yadavas. Why? He's the son of like Vasudeva and Devaki. The demons think like that Krishna is the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. So he thought that I'll get back against him. Get back, it's like some vengeance, right? So he went and he told Kamsa this. And then immediately when Kamsa heard this, he realized, really, I have like a demonic nature, I'm trying to be like a good prince and follow like a virtuous lifestyle, but really I just want to eat kids, I just want to eat people and like eat animals. He's like controlling himself. So after that time, what did he do? When he found out he was the son of this demon, he was like, yeah, great. And then immediately he was also very powerful. The demons are very powerful because they do great austerities to get their power. So what did he start doing? He immediately started getting some demon friends, like some strong demon group, and then he started capturing and imprisoning all the other Yadavas. Before he was like a nice prince, very strong, beautiful. But immediately after he found this out, he started attacking them all and putting them in prison. And then he had 2 wives, Hasti and Nasti. And Prabhupada says, like, what they would do, Hasti and Nasti, this Putana, it wasn't like, if someone's assassin, like Abhiram, per se.
Kind of.
Yeah. assassin, a paid, like a, yeah, say someone is an assassin, and if they're a very good assassin, they've done many successful jobs, then the government, like the KGB in Abiram's case, they say, okay, you're very expert, now go and kill Sajjan. So if you're not expert already, they won't tell you to go and do this job. So Putana was already expert at this. She was already like an expert assassin or killer of the infants. That's her name. Putana means she who kills infants. So she was already expert at this, so Kamsa thought, let me send her. So what would be, before this, even Putana would kill these infants and she would bring them to Kamsa and his wives, or Hasti and Nasti. And what would they do? They would cook the kids up in many different delicious ways. Pakoras, rasa, like soup, with like the meat and the bones, like chicken, mutton, And Kamsa would...
Western wood.
Yeah.
McDonald's.
But with kids. Actually, the demons are still there in this time now. In Calcutta, some places, they found a restaurant. They did there was many kidnappings of children in Calcutta, in that area of India. And finally what happened, one day this minister's kid was kidnapped. Right? And so he became very angry and he started doing a search about it. And anyhow, one time, some of his members in his administration were taking food at this very famous restaurant in Calcutta, and they found some fingernail, and then they did a raid, and they found in the underground storage areas many frozen babies, and they were using them because it was very tasty, soft and healthy meat. And so that time they shut it down, and he found his kid was kidnapped, and they're also being served there for thousands of rupees for a plate, and people were being fed this thinking, oh, I'm eating, very nice high quality meat, So we shouldn't think this is only going on thousands of years ago. To this day, people enjoy this because they have such demonic natures that this is their food. They aren't happy without this food. So Putana was doing like this. So Kamsa thought, let me send my expert baby killer, Putana, to kill Krishna, because I heard that Krishna will kill me, so I better send my best agent. So he sent Putana, and what is said that Putana, she took on a disguise. Maybe Abiram can perform the role of Putana. Purdy says she dressed like a goddess, and she took on, the demons, they have the shapeshifters. In the Bhagavatam it says that they're like wizards, actually. And they're able to take different shapes and forms according to their desire. So this time she took the form of a beautiful goddess. She looked like Lakshmi, the most beautiful goddess. And Purdy said she had 20 kilo breasts. So she came to Braj decorated like this. And it's described in the Bhagavatam as she was walking through the villages of Braj. Her job was to kill Krishna. So she smeared poison on her breast and came thinking that she will give her poisonous breast milk to Krishna and kill him. So she came like this, and it said as she was walking, and she didn't have she had a very thin shawl, see-through shawl, and all the men were and it was very difficult, it's natural also, not they're trying to hold it back, but it's okay, why is she walking so shamelessly like this? And they're wow, who is this, So anyhow, she went straight to Nanda Bhavan. And there Yashoda was with Krishna, and she went to Yashoda, and very arrogantly, she was telling oh, you are some old lady. Look at this beautiful son. Look how beautiful I am. I am more worthy of being his mother than you. So Yashoda is very humble and okay, she said, let me give him my breast milk. So she took up Krishna, and then said, without any shame, Purdy said, she opened her cloth and started, and then she tried to give Krishna her breast. But then what did Krishna do? It said, Krishna closed his eyes. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains, why did Krishna close his eyes? He said, tell. There's a few different reasons. One is Krishna said, she's Purdy says, if someone's very dirty, very polluted, you don't want to have to look at them, and it's not auspicious. In South India, many temples of the Lord there, the eyes are covered with white paint. And it said in this age, they don't like to see the sinful jivas. In Braj, they're more merciful. Krishna is looking at everyone, But in some temples in South, they don't like to look at the sinful jivas. They have so many bad moods. How can they meditate on their pastimes looking at So Krishna's closing his eyes. Also, it was a very inauspicious activity, so he's closing his eyes. Another reason is said, he wanted to show that he is a little baby. He wanted to show that he is afraid. This lady came, I'm closing my eyes. Another reason is said he doesn't want to kill a lady. It's a sinful activity to kill a lady. So he's closing his eyes. What do I do? Should I do it or not? So a few reasons like this. So it is said that When that happened, then she fed him the breast milk, but it said instead of being killed by that poison, so this is the point, that Kamsa wanted to kill him and Putana wanted to kill him. But was it possible? Krishna didn't die in this case. He never died, but he didn't show this act. Really, he gave her eternal life. That it's actually, this is related to the verse I want to learn today. Aho Baki Yam Verse. This is one of the most important verses. It's a very beautiful verse. Kamba Dhayalum Sharanam Prapadye. Who can take shelter of a more merciful Lord than Sri Krishna? That even this witch Putana came in the guise of a mother. It's like if you are trying to kill someone, kill them face to face, fight face to face. But in the guise of a mother, giving milk to an infant, which is like the most intimate exchange, and the most it's also like if a lover is killing a lover, at least they're a bit more on equal level. But a mother killing an infant through giving her breast milk, what can be a more horrible way to try to kill someone? Like a little innocent baby, like only a few days old, and you're thinking, I will give him my breast milks and my breast will be covered in poison. How sinful is this? So, but even though she had that desire, she had that mood, Krishna gave her the position of his nursemaid, Datri Uchitam. That it said, therefore, who can be more merciful than Krishna? Even though she came with this intent, Krishna. So the point is that really, so this is a very interesting story. That's why I wanted to touch on the Putana story. In her past life, who was Putana?
Sister of
No, daughter. She was the daughter of Bali Maharaj. You know the story of Bali Maharaj? Bali Maharaj, who was tricked by Vaman, because he was also a demon and he had taken over the universe and kicked out all the demigods. So what happened is that Bali Maharaj he gave the boon to Vaman. So when Vaman first came to Bali Maharaj's assembly where he was giving charity, then his daughter's name was Ratnamala. And she was of that age, where a girl is like wanting to have children. And she saw Vaman and thought, he is so beautiful, he's so cute, If I could just be his mother, I would give him my breast milk and I would show him so much love. So she thought like that first. That was her first desire. So that's why I said, Yeyatamang prapadyante. Krishna rewards you according to how you approach him. Right? So she had first this mood, I want to give Krishna my breast milk. And I want to be like his mother. But then when Vaman cheated Bali and tricked him and stole everything from him, and then not only did he steal everything from him, after he stole everything, then he bound him up with snakes. And only after testing him like that, then he accepted him and gave him a boon. So when he was binding him up with snakes, because later on it said that, Prabhuji says actually he was binding him with Guru Tattva. Like we need to be bound in Sadhu Sangha. Sometimes we want to run out. Like Narad Rishi, he made Nalukuver and Manigriva into trees, the twin Arjuna trees, so that they could not run away. Ordinary people think this is a curse, but really it's a boon, because otherwise they'll run away from Braj. But if you're a tree and you have to stay for thousands of years in Braj, then how can you run? How can we run if we're trees? So that was actually a boon. So he was binding him with this Ananta Shesh. So it was like binding him with Guru Shakti, Guru Tattva. So this is actually a good thing. But she couldn't understand, so she immediately thought, oh, that rascal boy, if he was my son, I would definitely poison him with poison on my breasts. So that was her second thought. So in their next life, Krishna fulfilled her desire, she became Putana. But even though she tried to do this, of killing Krishna her poisonous breast, Krishna gave her this position that she had first desired, because she couldn't understand the activities of Vaman before. But when she had that sincere desire to be like a mother, then Krishna fulfilled that, and she became like one of Mother Yashoda's. Like it is said that Krishna removed all the sinful coverings. Purdy says, like sometimes when I'm chastising, don't be offended, think I'm chastising you. It's like if you're walking to a room or to serve Thakurji and you're very dirty and you're smelling bad and you have dirty clothes, and I say, oh, you're so dirty, go bathe yourself and then come back. He said, I'm not mad at you. I'm saying you should clean yourself. You have some external things that are hampering your real service and relationship. So when the demons are coming like this, Krishna's not killing the demons also. He's removing the anartha, the body that is a manifestation of their anarthas, their bad desires, and then giving them their spiritual soul body. So with Putana, he did this. He took away these material coverings that was like accumulated anarthas, We can see when the anarthas come out, then it takes on this very hideous, like monstrous forms. We have so many anarthas, since millions of lifetimes we have so many anarthas, but when these will come out, then it will manifest in this way. And then Krishna will remove it, and then he'll give you your spiritual form. So he gave Putana the form of his nursemaid. So this sloka we're going to learn now is about this. Glories of Sri Krishna from the Bhagavatam. Aho Baki Yam Verse. And we'll start learning this sloka. I think this will probably take a day or two. And this sloka is very important. In Mahaprabhu's pastimes, there was a great devotee called Pundarik Vidyanidhi. And Gadadhar Pandit was sent by Mahaprabhu for sadhu sangha with him. So he went with Mukunda Datta Prabhu. When Gadadhar Pandit went to his ashram, his home, he was a grihasta. So he saw that he was living on this very opulent, comfortable bed. And he was chewing some like pan and like some other intoxicating like tambul things. And he had a golden spittoon. And he looked like he was living like ordinary enjoyer. And so Gadadhar Pandit, for the sake of this pastime, he showed that he had some doubt and he left. And then Mahaprabhu saw him next and he said, "Oh, why are you, I see that you're not, did you have your association? Was it nice?" And he didn't have such a good reaction. He said, "Oh, I see you a little bit dark-faced. Like, what is the problem?" And Gadadhar was like a little bit shy. He said, how is this nature? How is this sadhu, He's living like this. And Mahaprabhu said, "Oh, you don't understand." Then he told Mukunda Datta, "You go with him." So then the next time Mukunda Datta Prabhu went, and when they entered this house, at that time, then he started singing this verse, Aho Baki Yam Verse. And hearing this verse, which is saying that, oh, how merciful is Krishna, that even though this Putana witch came to kill him as an infant by smearing poison on her breast, he still gave her such a high position. How merciful, how great is Krishna. And hearing this, Pundarik Vidyanidhi began to roll about on the ground in maddened ecstasy. And he showed all the signs of divine ecstasy for Krishna. So I said, we cannot understand always by the external appearance how much love and devotion one really has for the Lord. Sometimes the devotees will take on to keep people distant from them. Also we hear with Bangsidas Babaji Maharaj. It's another long story we won't tell now. But sometimes the Vaishnavas perform so-called like improper activities only to keep people away from them so that they can do their bhajan. Why if they show I'm Jagat Guru, and then everyone's coming and then they have no time for bhajan. So sometimes they create such an external environment. Also sometimes they're so deeply absorbed in their bhajan, in their bhakti, that these external symptoms will manifest that we cannot understand. Therefore it said, Vaishnavira Kriya Mudra Vijnana Bujayata. Never try to judge the activities of a high-class Vaishnav who are beyond your level, that is beyond your comprehension. So therefore today, we learn that even in the case of Putana, and there's other cases of demons who tried to kill Krishna. So we won't talk about that now. But Krishna did not fulfill their external desire to kill him, and even with Kamsa. Later on, Krishna killed Kamsa, but he also gave him liberation. So it said, even if someone is killing or being killed by Krishna, then he will give them liberation. Right? So Krishna is Agatana Gatana Pati Ashi Shakti. You can't kill Krishna, ultimately. If you want to kill Krishna, then sorry. It's not possible. But sometimes Krishna may perform mystical activities that you cannot comprehend only for the sake of cheating people, those who are demons. So we're going to try to learn a little bit of this verse, the first 2 lines maybe. Okay? So...
It's from Bhagavad Gita?
No, this is from Srimad Bhagavatam.
From Srimad Bhagavad Gita.
Show us that.
Yeah, we need to print them out. Maybe we'll just do an introduction to this one and then we'll print it out. If I send it to you, can you print it out today, Atul?